I am a Japanese dude having been a shut-in, aka hikikomori, for 10 years, currently developing a hikikomori-themed video game alone for 2.5 years. I think keeping hope has helped me stay on track during a difficult time. Ask me anything. My bio. I was born and raised in Japan. After graduating from uni in Tokyo, I couldn't land a good job. I was passionate about creative writing since I was a teenager, had believed I would become a novelist. So I was writing novels while hopping several jobs. I finished a new novel which I poured my best effort into, sent it to my friends. My brain and body were tired but filled with a sense of accomplishment. Several months had passed. I had gradually realized and accepted that my novels were lacking commercial prospects. I came back to my hometown, losing hope to become a novelist but having another plan, to practice manga or anime art and become a doujin creator. Doujin means indie or independent. There are lots of indie creators in Japan, mainly manga artists and a relatively small amount of game creators. They live off their creation via digital stores or physical distribution. I simply wanted to give a shape to my imagination and the doujin industry seemed a great place for that. I started learning how to draw in my old room. I had no friends in my hometown and felt rushed to become financially independent as soon as possible, feeling ashamed to go outside. So I became a hikikomori. That was 10 years ago. I wasn't good at drawing at all, rather having a complex about drawing. So I often faced a hard time practicing my art. Eventually I made a couple of doujin works, sold them on digital stores and earned a little amount of money. But my complex had become bigger and started crippling my mind. I realized I need to seek another field to make a living. That was 5 years ago. At that moment, I had noticed that Steam and indie games had become a big thing in the West. Video game is a great medium for telling a story, which is very appealing to me. The problem was, however, my English was not great and I couldn't write my game scenario in English. But I was desperate enough to start learning about the game development anyway. I thought this challenge would be the last chance for me. Now already 5 years have passed. After failing several projects, I have finally stuck to the current project Polstay, which is a literal translation of hikikomori. Looking back on the last 10 years, I made a lot of mistakes and bad choices. Probably I shouldn't start to practice drawing in the first place. But this skill now helps me make 2D and 3D assets for games. I don't know. Honestly, I'm sometimes feeling so sad about wasting such a long time and still not being able to stand on my own feet. But I do know I just need to hang in there. I'm planning to complete my game in a year, hoping it will pull me out from this hikikomori mud. Also my English has improved a little bit thanks to the game development because learning materials are basically written/spoken in English. That is an unexpected bonus. And I'm telling you, I haven't entirely ditched yet my hope of writing novels one day. I'm not 100% sure whether what I'm seeing is a hope or just a delusion, but I can say this is what has kept me sane for the last 10 years. So yeah, please ask me anything. Maybe I will need a bit long time to write the reply, but I will try my best. How extreme is your level of isolation/confinement? Is it simply avoiding people where possible and still continuing with things like grocery shopping etc. or complete isolation? I have been living in the same apartment alone for 10 years. I've been using the delivery service from the grocery store, so I rarely leave my apartment. Basically once 2 months for going haircut, just like that. Wow, that's hard to imagine. By the way, you say your English has improved a bit, but it seems to me that it is very good if you were able to write that entire post. He probably uses a translation tool and then adjusts its output based on his knowledge. However, if that's not the case, he's really underestimating his English proficiency. Who pays for the apartment? This is my aunt's apartment. Just wanted to congratulate you on your English, it's really good now. Anyways, what did your parents think about you when you first fell into the hikikomori lifestyle? Thank you. Wow. Your question hit my head so hard. I remember I called my aunt from my apartment in Tokyo and asked, "Can I live with you?" And she said, "Sure, you can come back whenever you want." I think that's all. How does the financial side work out? Who pays the bills, and what does your money go on? Also, what about female hikikomori, are they common? Every mention of the phenomenon seems to only mention men. I relied on my family until last summer. Now I'm living on my savings. But it won't last so long. I just started NJP translation gig for indie games. I need to find a way to earn money so that I can complete my game. Female hikikomori. I heard that they are hard to find because they are considered as kajiti today, which means a young girl who is practicing household skills and getting ready for marriage. How do you spend a typical day? Also, do you live with family or by yourself? If you live with family, are they supportive or understanding of your life and work? I live in an apartment alone. Basically just making my game and doing housework. Will you remember the rest of us when you survive the coronavirus and we don't? He's still gotta order food in. What is the worst advice someone has given you when you tell them about your lifestyle? Wow, this is a fascinating question. Fortunately, I really didn't have deep conversations with others for almost 10 years, so didn't get any advice as well. Even when chatting online with others who live the same way. I made a Canadian friend 2 years ago, who is an indie game developer like me. Game development has brought me some online friends too. Before that, I had literally zero friends during my hikikomori life. Do you ever long for personal social contact, or are you just a heavily introverted guy who prefers to be alone? I feel my hikikomori life has suppressed my urge for social connection. Just lately I became active on Reddit and Twitter. I got a bunch of kind words and encouragement. And now I find I feel like social connections than ever. It's like rain falls in the desert and you see little greens here and there. I love that image. Keep going, friend. How often do you go outside? Once every 2 months for haircut. But this pandemic is going to affect my routine. Lol. First, congrats on your achievement. As I'm living in Europe and only heard of hikikomori in the media, I always wondered, what are the major differences and similarities of this phenomena and a major depression? What do you think from your point of view? Thanks. Thank you. As far as I know, hikikomori is not necessarily accompanied by mental problems. Personally, I don't think I'm in need of therapy or something. Just, for your information, many with major depression don't believe they are in need of mental support either. It may be useful to you to seek mental health treatment remotely to help plan your adjustment to leaving the house again. So, would you say that your isolation is caused more by a drive to work hard and create something or because of the feelings of stress, depression, etc.? When I was having normal jobs, I was very depressed every morning. I was killing my emotion in my workplace. So I can't tell precisely what put me into hikikomori. But I can tell I didn't expect my hikikomori will continue such a long period. I really hoped I will become independent within 3 years or so. So, did becoming isolated improve your mood? Probably yes. I mean, I couldn't keep in touch with my friends from uni. I needed to be alone and just work. What are the Japanese ideas/stereotypes about hikikomori? As an American, we have our own assumptions about recluses or hermits, but I don't know if it's fair to compare them to hikikomori. It's usually a very negative label that is associated with mental illness. It's crazy how everyone in this thread is so positive, but it's the exact opposite reaction to Westerners. I swear, if I post this on Japanese site, no one ain't give a shit. Also, I would never have the guts to tell my hikikomori life in Japanese. Being a foreigner can be a charm sometimes, I suppose. How is your health doing? Do you try to maintain a reasonably healthy lifestyle despite shutting yourself in? I really want to recommend fellow hikikomori to exercise daily. I hadn't exercised for a long time and it decayed my body. I feel need for making more time to exercise lately. Psychologically speaking, do you feel the need to have contact with anyone? Do you imagine having a friend or a girlfriend whom you can trust your despairs and achievements? Don't you have the need for some output other than a creative one? I feel my hikikomori life paralyzed my social instinct because you want to avoid connecting others. You may or may not know this, but the current indie game market is getting so crowded that you need to do marketing and build connections more and more. So since last year, I started to reach out with others. That has changed my mental condition. I remembered that happy time I had with my uni friends. Now I'm looking forward to making friends again. Amazing, you can do this. Wow, what a change.